Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra. I am Nanatufo Boateng. Coming up.
Discussions on what will go into the various spaces, and so the recreational aspect, we are looking at the canopy walkways, we are looking at waterfronts, but then we also want a place that any child can walk in and say, I don't have money, I want to feel free to relax.
When President John Dramani Mahama says Ghana is preparing to add a new 1,200 megawatt gas-fired power plant to strengthen electricity generation. He made the announcement during his Resetting Ghana tour of the Eastern region. Our regional correspondent Neoni Amate Kanaku has more.
President John Dramani Mahama began the final day of his two-day Resetting Ghana tour in the Eastern region with a stakeholder engagement at the Koforidua International Central Gospel Church. The meeting brought together professionals, opinion leaders, and residents to discuss government's performance and gather views on national development. Chief of Staff Julius Debra told participants government remains committed to resetting key sectors of the economy and revealed that a presidential delivery unit has been set up at the office of the president to track the state of promises made at the end of every month.
Presidential delivery unit. Presidential delivery unit DC and minister be here when we saw the Nipanaka and Apotosen. Then we be announced when you are in the country of my penny. It was my home on Nassau and this hour. Nobody actually knows that listeners.
Rose Minister Kwame Gavins Abuja said projects inherited from the previous administration are still being pursued under the resetting agenda.
One of the easiest things you see when government change in our country historically is to see project being abandoned. And then they abandon it. President Mahama directed that no road project should be suspended or cancelled under his regime. And as we speak today, no road project have been suspended. 2, even if the projects are not cancelled or suspended, what you see is that the contractors never get paid. Indeed, what you see with the Cocoa Board road program collapsing was simply because of the policy decision taken in 2017 by the previous government to say that all Cocoa Road projects suspended and gone through a so-called investigation. By the time they finished, almost all the projects went back.
Energy and Green Transition Minister John Abdullah Jinapo also announced that a timetable for transformer replacement and upgrades nationwide will be released in the coming weeks.
And the minimum can say, and Kaniano, as at yesterday when I got the briefing, not only are we meeting national demand, we are exporting power to Burkina, we are exporting power to Cote d'Ivoire, we are exporting power to Togo. Until those prolonged periods of load shedding, I, a friend of Dumsono, under His Excellency President Mahama, would work very hard to ensure, say, Yensa and Kohobium. Now what you are here, Kumi? Yeah, a detailed timetable ever for transformer replacement and upgrade exercise. Last week, yeah, 140 you're publishing in Yana. Now what you are here, Kumi? Yeah, 300 you're publishing in Yana.
Addressing concerns over recent power supply challenges, President Mahama disclosed that a 1,200 megawatt gas-fired electricity plant is in the pipeline and expected to commence this year. He says the project, designed jointly by the Energy Ministry and Ministry of Finance, will significantly boost generation capacity, create reserve power, and position Ghana to export electricity to neighboring countries.
Ghana send the economy in the ama your consumption air cost. You buy na consumption in number 3,500 megawatts. And then we know say your consumption at peak it drew 4,300 megawatts. If we say more investment about room into the demand for electricity is increasing. Into I was say the generation be account. Send a redundancy, near brofo friend redundancy. Apart from that, say yeah na donso na ye di biko Burkina ne Togo omu na omu hia kania na omu tuayeka. It will bring foreign exchange into the country. Enti ye finance ne energy. Omu ye design. Ye be 1,200 megawatts gas-fired electricity generating plant. Na nyamiadom afia me no okase ye de asobe bofom na sai djuma na shase.
The president later continued on the tour at the University of Environment and Sustainable Development in Somenya, where he inspected hostel construction before heading to the Sujaman district to inspect ongoing road projects.
Well, let's get more on the power situation and speak to the Deputy Ranking on the Energy Committee of Parliament, Honorable Collins Adumako Mensah. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us. The Energy Ministry says that the power situation is currently stable. Do you agree with this assertion?
Well, whether I agree or not will depend on what I feel when I get to my house. Yesterday, in my house at Mile 7, the lights went off at 6 p.m. and returned back at 6 a.m. this morning. I'm sure there are similar reports of such fluctuations. So, yes, I get what the minister is saying, but it's how I feel in my home.
Right.
And I'm very sure that everybody listening to me will have their own rendition of what it means to get home to some darkness. It's refreshing to hear the minister say that things are stabilizing. But from what I saw yesterday, I'm not too sure it has hit Mile 7 yet.
Do you have an assessment of what could be the challenge?
Well, I think I'll just go with the explanation, the official explanation from the ministry has been that they are taking care of some upgrades of some transformers. And thankfully today I heard him say that in the coming week they're going to publish a timetable, which has been a word that has eluded this government for some time. They were not too comfortable with the word timetable. But finally the minister himself has acknowledged that it is time for them to give us some timetable, which is just quite respectful. You are dealing with consumers. And so if you have to upgrade and do some work within their catchment area, it's just normal and sensible to inform them of the planned maintenance so they can plan towards that. So I'm happy the minister says that he's going to give us some timetable.
Very well. What is your reaction to President John Mahama's plan to add 1,200 megawatts gas-fired power plant to the generation of the country?
It's nothing new. They mentioned it in the budget last year. We're hoping that by now they would have even gone far with it. I'm surprised that the president is reiterating that it's in the pipeline. It's not a new project. They had mentioned it in the budget, the 2026 budget. As I speak, Parliament has not been served, or the Committee on Energy has not been briefed with the full details as to how they intend to roll out that particular program. So hearing the president say it's in the pipeline, I'm not too sure what he means by it's in the pipeline. But the point I'm making is that it's nothing new. It's not a new announcement. The minister had already mentioned it in his budget last year.
It's interesting that you mentioned that the minister spoke of it in the budget last year, because my next question has to do with the financing and transparency of these energy projects, even including these transformer upgrades that they are doing. Do you have any concerns regarding same? Have you received any proper explanation as a committee?
We've not received, in relation to the 1,200, after it was mentioned in the budget, we've not received any briefing as to how it's going to be implemented. We have some information from the grapevine that they intend to put together a special purpose vehicle, an FPV kind of, to ensure that that project comes to fruition. They are using the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund as a conduit to have this plant put together. I'm sure when they get to a stage where they'll have to come to Parliament to brief us, they'll do so. But you made a very interesting point about transparency, which is what I subscribe to. I'm just hoping that when we resume, I think as a committee, we can call the ministry to get a proper briefing, especially when the president has said that they intend to have a forecasting this year. I think it's in the right place for us to request for full details, which we'll do so when we resume.
Very well. Oh, no, but I've heard you argue that the current administration has abandoned the ESRP, the Energy Sector Recovery Plan. There's also been the counter-argument that debunks your assertion. Now, what will be a solution that will ensure reliable and sustainable electricity supply in Ghana?
Well, I would have loved to hear the counter-argument. I've heard any counter-argument. And the officials from the ministry are aware that during the IMF agreement, there was a section dedicated to power issues. And I recall whilst I was in the ministry, we put together this ESRP program, which we had signed with the IMF, which was essentially a program that was going to help us take care of the financial aspect, infrastructure, and all that. So I'm not too sure if anybody has given any counter-argument. But the point is that at this particular point in time, I think it's quite clear that we have a generation problem. I mean, Akosomo goes off and everybody's panicking. It's important that we increase our generation capacity. And that is why the president's announcement of 1,200 is refreshing. Just that we are yet to be given the full details of this particular program.
Would the generation alone be the panacea to solving this challenge? Because there's also the transmission bit before the distribution end.
I mean, if you don't even generate, you don't transmit at all. So you have to have your base. You have to have enough capacity to generate. Then we can deal with the next leg, which is the transmission. Obviously, there are some of the lines that have to be upgraded. I'm aware that even during the previous administration, the line from the north through the Volta region was not sufficient. We have to change it to, I think, 161 kV or so. And there are other lines also that have to be changed. So once you get the base settled, you also have to look at fuel availability and gas supply. We are told that ENI wants to increase their gas supply. We are not too sure what the status is as of now. Because with the one Ghana city coming up, I'm not too sure which has issue with liquid fuel. So yes, once we deal with the generation capacity, I agree that we also have to take a certain look at distribution and transmission.
For the ordinary Ghanaian who is paying 1 cedi more on a liter of fuel and has received the explanation that it is to help address challenges in the energy sector. With the current challenge, do you feel or believe that Ghanaian consumer deserves some respite?
Well, what the Ghanaian consumer deserves now is accountability. The One Ghana cedi came with a law, the Energy Sector Levies Bill, which stated, Section 4 states that by the 31st of March of this year, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Energy should have been giving us some data as to how much has accrued into the fund and how the fund has been utilized. As I speak to you now, that has not been presented. We have requested for it. In fact, the Deputy Minority Whip has filed an RTI requesting the Ministry of Energy to furnish him with details of how much has accrued to the state from the One Ghana cedi and how it has been utilized. So yes, I think the first thing that government has to do is to be transparent and open and give us full details as to how much has been accrued. Then we can begin to talk about respite. If you're unable to give us details of how much has come and how it has been used, and I think it is right for people to call for it to be taken off.
It's understandable that you demand some transparency regarding the 1 cedi energy sector levy, but one will also say that the House is on recess. Could we have waited and then put questions before the sector minister, who is also an MP and a member of the House?
The House rose after 31st of March. The bill says that it has to be presented to the House by the 31st of March. So they breached the law.
So then an illegality has been perpetrated?
They breached the law. The law says that, and they brought the law themselves, that by the 31st of March, they should present to Parliament a full details of how much has accrued and how it has been utilized.
Very well, Honorable. Do you think the PURC should intervene in this matter with some tariff reliefs?
I'm really surprised the PURC has been very quiet. This was the same PURC in 2024 that sanctioned board members of ECD for failing to provide a timetable or some disruption to the Ghanaian consumer. It's been 1 month. It's been closed from January to date. There's been fluctuations all over. I've not heard PURC make any statement. That is quite surprising.
Very well. Honorable, thank you so much for talking to us.
Wonderful.
Collins Adomako Mensah is the Member of Parliament for Efija-Kwabre North and also ranking member on the Energy Committee of Parliament. Now, away from that, economist Peter Korte is urging tighter macroeconomic discipline as the Bank of Ghana records another major annual loss ahead of the country's planned exit from the IMF program. He says sustained stability will be crucial to preventing further financial deterioration. More in the following report.
The Bank of Ghana has posted an operating loss of 15.6 billion cedis for the 2025 financial year. That is an increase from the 9.48 billion cedis loss recorded in 2024, extending the central bank's losses to 4 consecutive years. The institution had earlier recorded losses of 60.9 billion cedis in 2022 and 10.5 billion cedis in 2023. Speaking on CTFM and Channel 1 TV's The Big Issue, Professor Peter Korte said, while the Bank of Ghana deserves credit for publishing its financial statements transparently, stronger macroeconomic measures are needed to prevent further losses.
I think the stability we are enjoying, if we should sustain the stability, what it will mean is that people will have confidence in the banking system, confidence in the government, and whatever excess liquidity they have, they would invest in government instruments, long-term instruments, 7-year bonds, 10-year bonds. So Bank of Ghana wouldn't have to go out there and be mopping more of the excess liquidity in order to sustain the stability we are enjoying. And I think my final point is let's work hard as we exit the IMF program, because I have my fear that if you are not careful, we exit the program and we go do business as usual, then we will see more losses, and that will be a shame to all of us.
The opposition New Patriotic Party has criticized the latest figures, with Deputy General Secretary Haruna Mohammed questioning the central bank's financial management.
If an economy that was criminally managed could get 9.49, what about 15.63? And you ask me that I should celebrate the person who was not mindful of how some of these indicators portray in the past, of getting an excess over 64% of what was criminally managed. You have an excess, almost a half of that, from 9 to 15. Twice. So what will you call that one? I don't know the word to use, because if my 9 was criminally managed, 15 will be what?
But member of the NDC communications team, Hamza Suhini, argued that the losses are linked more to broader economic adjustments than recklessness.
Inflation was 54%. Umaru, not 23. 54. So you can measure the impact of those costs under them as against the inflationary figures. Exchange rates, our city was depreciating at a faster rate during that time. So if you say this was the cost we incurred and your inflationary figures do not show, we were justified to have accused you of recklessly managing the economy and being criminal about it. Secondly, in terms of the cost, if you look at their cost buildup or their loss, out of the 60 billion, about 48 billion was as a result of domestic debt exchange program. The situation today is different. And how is it different? When you look at our portfolio, the 15.6 billion that the Bank of Ghana has announced, this is not money that has gone into anybody's pockets. A chunk of it can best be described as paper loss.
Panelists also discussed recent erratic power supply, with economic policy analyst Senyo Hosi calling for deeper investment across the energy value chain.
We are aware that the infrastructure problems still persist. We have problems with our transformers, I think ECG, and this is information that's public in the industry. We have over 33,000 or so transformers or something like that that's supposed to sit on the market. A lot of them are off. I think Dubik at some point mentioned that they needed to urgently change about 600 of them. But there's more that's supposed to be done. We have 161 lines to change. There are a number of things. The infrastructure is challenged. I won't quickly say it is weak. It is heavily challenged. And there's a need for proper investment to be able to cure that. But to cure that, you must have the fiscal space to do it.
Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, says sustainable energy planning will be key to long-term economic resilience.
The energy ministry should be holistic. Don't send funds to still go buy thermal plants at this point. When God has blessed you with enough, sun power or solar, whatever you would have used to buy a new power plant, right? Commit it to communities so that you can be winning them off the grid gradually. Commit it to institutions like the public hospitals and ensure that, look, if there's an emergency or a surgical ward, right? If you fix just the panels, even without batteries, for the entire day, they can run on the panels without batteries.
You're saving power somewhere.
Yeah, saving power.
This is the Channel One Newsroom on Channel One TV. Still ahead. Sanitation offenders face crackdown as Kole Klote Assembly enforces local bylaws. We have the details of
The best part of going home is family.
Sit up! Hey, mommy, my wife is cooking something delicious.
Lizzie Shito, hot pepper sauce, spicy. Bola yete, Lizzie Shito.
Lizzie Shito, the Shito. Lizzie Shito, overfill.
Lizzie Shito, kasan. Please, can I take some to school tomorrow?
Yes, my son, you can. Lizzie Shito, dear. Ebesu obiasu.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy.
For bulk purchase,
Kindly contact 050-168-3344 or 050-155-0998. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. Let's bring you some more stories. The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, says the government has made significant progress toward establishing the Women's Development Bank. She announced the development at this year's Abuacher Festival in Winneba, describing the initiative as a major step toward expanding access to credit for women. There is more in the following report.
The Abuacher Festival, one of Ghana's most celebrated traditional festivals, drew thousands to Winneba with colorful displays, drumming and the famous deer hunting ritual. The annual event remains a major symbol of the heritage of the Afutu people.
Vice President.
Attending as special guest of honor, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, announced that government is making steady progress toward operationalizing the Women's Development Bank. She says the bank is expected to provide affordable financing for women in trade and small-scale enterprises, helping them expand their businesses and participate more strongly in the economy.
During the 2024 campaign, we shared our plans for the nation, and I would like to touch on a few of them today. We said we would establish a Women's Development Bank. And I'm pleased to inform you that significant progress has been made. Many women in this community are the backbone of their households and the local economy, yet they often lack access to credit. The bank will provide accessible, affordable financial support to fishmongers, market women, traders, and small-scale entrepreneurs, for example. And it will be mainly for the women of this country who are often left on the sidelines of formal financial systems. This is a key part of our broader agenda on inclusive finance and will empower them to expand their businesses, increase incomes, and improve the quality of life for their families.
The Vice President added that government is also working to fast-track the Kaswa-Winneba dualization project to improve travel and ease traffic congestion along the corridor.
We are investing in improving access roads, upgrading hospitality facilities, and supporting cultural enterprises so that festivals can attract more visitors, both domestic and international. This will not only boost local business enterprises, but also create sustainable jobs. This is a tourism hub in the making, and we are determined to support its infrastructure.
Meanwhile, Paramount Chief of Efutu, Nei Gati VII, appealed for improved access to secondary education in the area. He says many students continue to face difficulties accessing senior high schools due to long travel distances.
Yewra, John Dramani Mahama, Oma, what the ask Bobo Food, then to woman you block. Na Simbano, ye baby thing, differ in Campan. And one of the school called Yazoo. Kapade schools all you na our simple coma into Yaresra Yama Vice President is the first woman na ye noise ye so Emma Jumoja Ebezi Fresh Central Region in there being a block for Winneba East Rurals. Mama ya and also secondary school what they be work as day students. Yeah, Canada. Yeah, Tintin. Nkitamudi owo yentem. Wo kroma ha. Mo ba ya botaya wo si ye no be ye pada ye koyi. Otumpunu obejina.
Now away from Winneba, the Korle Klote Municipal Assembly says it will begin enforcing sanitation bylaws to punish those who violate environmental cleanliness regulations. The announcement was made during the municipality's monthly cleanup exercise held as part of the National Sanitation Day activities. There is more in the following report.
Residents, traders and assembly officials joined hands on Saturday for a large-scale sanitation exercise across the Korle Klote municipality. The cleanup was led by the municipal chief executive Alfred Alote Gezi alongside the mayor of Accra, Michael Kpapo Alote.
Decided and putting onto ourselves to clean our own country, and this is led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Today is another sanitation day. And what we are doing now is monitoring the activities of our task force, the market women, and all those who sell along the roadside. So far, we've been very impressed because we've gone from Adabraka through to CMB area, through Kimbu area, to demonstration, and we are in circle now. And all the news is the same. It means they listen to our announcements, they complied, and they kept the city clean. We will entreat them to continue to clean where they sell. It makes it easier for us when they sweep, they collect, and they pack them for us.
Together, they took part in sweeping, desilting drains and clearing waste in part of the municipality. Addressing the media after the exercise, Alfred Alote Gezi said the assembly is set to activate its sanitation bylaws to sanction persons who breach environmental cleanliness regulations.
We don't postpone. We deal with it and you have sanctioned. Straightforward. If we have to take you to prison, we do it. If you can't pay the fine. So it's instant, and we are making sure that once we enforce it, people will learn.
He says the move is aimed at ensuring compliance and sustaining cleanliness beyond periodic exercises. Also speaking, the mayor of Accra stressed that sanitation must become a daily lifestyle and not just a monthly campaign.
That we are having this national sanitation back again. And I'm here to make sure that I will enforce the laws to work. And today, the market women are really compliant. So I'm very happy. As a mayor, I'm very happy that once we made the announcement, they have listened to us and they have complied. They have swept everywhere. It's not yet the time for us them to sell because they have really complied. So I'm very happy. I made one statement to them that it should be a lifestyle. The cleanliness has to be a lifestyle.
He announced that the introduction of town councils will begin on Monday to support swift enforcement of sanitation regulations.
We are bringing tankers with their brown uniforms again for us to make sure that. I mean, when I was a little boy, you see tankers coming when you run.
The mayor also urged residents to comply with the ongoing 1-month ban on noise making in Accra to avoid sanctions.
I beg everybody. I beg all the churches. I beg people who preach in the market. I beg everybody. It's just 1 month. Let's comply as we have complied with the National Sanitation Day. I beg them. I beg them in the name of God. We shouldn't let anybody come and lock up your staff. Now you've been making phone calls. I beg them. We should try our best to listen.
Now, Ghanaian workers have been urged to prioritize recreation and relaxation as a way of reducing stress, rejuvenating, and staying healthy and productive. The Chief Executive Officer of the Takoradi Mall, Theophilus Korte, made the call during the Takoradi Mall May Day Corporate Games. The event brought together staff from 30 institutions at the mall's event center to compete in various sporting activities. Channel 1 TV's Akwasi J&M reports from Takoradi.
By the kind courtesy of the Takoradi Mall, just as hard workers here in Takoradi have chosen to actually spend their May Day, which is a day meant for workers to actually ponder over their activities as workers.
The
Takoradi Mall, we realized that there's no platform where workers come together to network, have fun, and of course distress. So we decided to use the May Day as a platform. So we started that last year. We brought workers in Takoradi and Western Region together, and this is the second edition. This year we drew the invitation again, and so far 30 companies have registered and are having fun here with us today. It's been amazing so far. We have all the sports discipline happening. As you can see behind me, football is happening right now. We have the track races also. We have indoor games also going on, and it's been amazing. Besides competitive games such as football that you see taking place over there, we have other soft sports like Lubu and Owari being part of today's activities happening here at the Takoradi Mall. And we just want to interact with some of the participants what this day means to them and what they are doing. Madam, what's your name?
Grace.
Tell me, why did you choose to spend your day like this as a worker?
Well, I'm here to have fun, because we've worked the whole of the year, from last year to this year. So it's time for us to have a sound mind for us to continue the journey. Yeah.
So what are you also doing to spend your day, and what does this mean to you?
I'm here to have fun. It means everything. It's a holiday today, so I'm here to have fun. We work so hard. So with this holiday, I am taking the opportunity to relax myself, and it's stressful out there. So being here means a lot to me.
After over 6 hours of intense competition, representatives of some of the outstanding teams who received various awards spoke to Channel One TV.
Okay, so MTN won tag of war, and we were placed third. We were happy to receive this kind of award. So these corporate games, we are happy to be part of it, and we thank Takoradi Mall for this opportunity. We are pledging that next year we will not be the third place, but will be the first place.
Takoradi Mall has won 2 awards, and I'm very, very excited that my team has been able to win awards. We played in the Owari female category, we won that.
Management of Takoradi Mall further encourage workers to make such recreational activities a regular part of their routine, highlighting the health and social benefits they offer.
The life expectancy in Ghana is 62 for men and 65 for women. Other countries about 85. And if you check, one of the 5 most killer diseases in Ghana is BP. So you can tell that workers are stressed a lot. And of course, if you are stressed, it affects your productivity. So we want to use this occasion, which is of course a day for workers, that distress, feel free, have fun. And that is what Takoradi Mall Corporate Games is standing for. Today's Workers' Day fun game has been so much fun and entertaining over here. And workers say they have been so much rejuvenated to actually get back to their individual offices to help in making Ghana that productive going into the various months. For Channel One TV News, I'm Akosia Jenny.
Now, residents of Kalabule in the Ghana South municipality have been without pipe-borne water for more than 3 months after road construction damaged pipelines in the area. The prolonged disruption is forcing many households to rely on expensive tanker services or untreated water from the Densu Basin. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesiado has more.
For nearly 3 months, taps in Kalabule have run dry, leaving residents scrambling daily for water. Many households say they now depend on untreated water from the Densu Basin for cooking, washing, and other domestic use. Those who can afford it are relying on private water tankers, an option residents describe as costly and unsustainable.
Since they make the gutter here, they have cut all the pipeline. It's not coming, so you are worried. Every day you buy water from the water tanker here, small one. If you don't buy some, you can't get some here. Every day people come here and ask, you want water. So it's difficult for us. Even when you are going to bath, you use small water to bath. You can't get some.
It's almost 3 months, and then we wake up one day and there was pipe wasn't coming. Up to today, there is no pipe, so you have to go and roam and fetch water. So when you go to people's house, sometimes bucket is 4 cedis, sometimes you go 3-5, sometimes a bowl, they say 3 cedis. We don't know what we are doing. And up to now, there's no water.
According to residents, the crisis began after pipelines were destroyed by contractors undertaking road construction works in the area.
So nan kasa try no first no and shut down papa eba weekends na enya so na chire no abeye kwan no de sese de bue kra because so no emba kra wa bebia ye pipe na senti so no de enya so kra wa down wa kra say ye den so na no an e boy kakra kra wa and I see amu kan say so no so emu ayefi nti omutumi nya so no bebia e boy wa
pipe no da ye kwenyi no obi anyi nsu enti gota na asame ma waye no we cross ha mu nsu ne mba ya 3 months tembia me fra water for no say na eba no also sija asame ma no we wie gota na asa na nsu na aba car no 3 million
tank baako eso ana say
eso kakra first one there na omode buy no na was 7 million ton onso.
The shortage is also affecting local businesses, with operators saying access to water has become a major challenge to daily operations.
Achia aba koshareka na magbonachi 2 million koshareka 1 week 2 million kaka maglekuba jiuna kuko magbona achiaba 8 million afia kokoyi afudo na ba achi ha no kuvia achi komuta ala na zachi akoko wodo ya matakpon de won na mo onto nya ba achi konwa achi doi.
Beyond the water crisis, residents say movement to and from homes has also been disrupted by the ongoing construction. Some vehicle owners are now forced to leave their cars on the roadside, exposing them to theft.
And them say ono ehun so masati je wase obana amna amusati amoye no omo de abo gulin ni so nti hu wonu hu se bibia abo ne fa na fa ole na mzo metu hope na so ya fa ma ka no ipia bonten nza ma ka na mpia bonten se ka no inside dia nye aka ka je se mo ye wuro na wie na so ma ye gotes na wie ansana betumi amaka na de ipia bonten na se hu no so na wo ye free efie na de banzo je de park o main road no enchen.
Business operators are calling for a more coordinated approach to the project to minimize hardship on the community.
Danu se mini ha kan ba kwa no we ya se ne ma so de besi ha nti we o ma ye e di man pa se on be ye ntom se enim ne ye wo e ba sa no obi ho a onim se ye tu amna no kro wajai obi bi ama.
The customers too, they come here, we have a restaurant here, they eat and all. Because of the construction, some even thought that, you know, that we are not operating. So unless probably they call or something. And for the sales, it has dropped drastically. You know, that it has dropped because of the construction too. As you know, the cars cannot come in. They can't really get place to park outside. And seriously, it has affected us.
Apart from the disruption in water supply, residents are also not able to take their vehicles into their houses, which is equally raising security concerns. They are therefore appealing for authorities to ensure a properly coordinated activities of the contractor. For the Channel 1 Newsroom, I am Akwesi Yado, Kalabule.
But this is the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 TV. Still ahead. Government unveils plan to transform Efua Sutherland Children's Park into modern, eco-friendly recreation center. We'll bring you the details of that story shortly. Please don't go away.
Turn up your sound experience with the We Hear speakers by Lovi. From the sleek We Hear 1 to the powerful We Hear 2. And now the premium We Hear Pro. Fully endorsed by Kylian Mbappe. This is not just a speaker. It's a flexible, high-performance outdoor Bluetooth speaker built to bring your music to life anywhere. With up to 100 watts of music power, you get bold, immersive sound wherever you go. All available in stylish standout colors. Now the good news. From April 20th to May 20th, grab yours at a special discounted price. The We Hear 1 now at 400 Ghana cedis. The We Hear 2 at 900 Ghana cedis. And the premium We Hear Pro now at 3,800 Ghana cedis. Don't miss out. Call 020-195-7739 or pick up at the Atlantic Towers. You can also grab yours at Orange FM Kumasi, Plus FM or 3 Music TV in Accra. Number 12 Afunya Street at Belengpe. Don't miss out on this special discounted offer. It's the We Hear promo powered by Lovi. We Hear, feel the power, hear the difference.
Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show here on Channel 1 Television. On The Point of View, we pick the right topics, get the right guests, and ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
With the complexities of the issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and the probing questions of The Point of View.
So what is the Public Account Committee's job?
So what we do is to scrutinize, clarify, and find out why certain infractions have been made.
What do these IMF programs try to do?
The current program is for budget support.
Okay.
There are no projects attached.
That teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The Point of View brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issue.
What authority do you have?
The Point of View airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Thank you for staying on with us here on the Channel 1 Newsroom. Let's bring you some more stories. The government says it plans to redevelop the Efua Sutherland Children's Park in Accra into a modern, eco-friendly recreational facility. Officials say the move is aimed at addressing the shortage of safe public parks for children and restoring one of the capital's historic leisure spaces. Channel 1 News' Christopher Kevin Asima has more in the following report.
The Efua Sutherland Children's Park, once one of Accra's most vibrant recreational centers, has over the years fallen into serious disrepair. Established in 1979 adjacent the National Theatre of Ghana, the park was designed as a safe and educational leisure space for children and families. But years of neglect have left much of the facility broken, overgrown and largely inaccessible.
I expected it to be kept better than this. The grass is well kept and the place kept neat. You can see filth around, and I don't think it speaks well of us as Ghanaians. But I'm not surprised because our attitudes are not right.
Rusting playground equipment, poor sanitation, and deteriorating landscaping have turned what was once a thriving social hub into a symbol of underinvestment.
I think generally it cuts across all sectors. Looking at how we maintain state properties, at least here should be in order. At least when there's grass, we know there's grass. When there's tires, we know, okay, the pavements are all tires, so that patrons that patronize the place can be able to find comfort when they come around. But it seems that priorities are not being given to some of these things that we have. So it's very disheartening sometimes when you come and you see how state properties are being mishandled. It's really, really bad.
I mean, the place, clearly shows the kind of management practice that is being done over here. Look at the stagnant waters over here. The place is not well kept. People are struggling to park their cars and all of that. So you see that money for maintenance of the place is not being used to its full productivity or its full effectiveness. So I don't know whether this place has a management that operates full time, but if they do, then they should be up and doing. And money that are being allocated to them or money that they generate from people coming to use the facility should be used to maintain this place very well.
We can improve. by doing things right, by ensuring that the place is kept neat. Because you see, it is not only Ghanaians who come here. Foreigners also come, and they compare it to what they have at home. And we are below standards.
So I believe government can partner with private sector and then develop the place, have it up and running.
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection says plans are now underway to transform the park into a modern, eco-friendly recreational and learning space. Officials say access to quality parks is essential for children's physical, social and cognitive development.
There have been quite some interesting discussions on what will go into the various spaces. And so the recreational aspect, we are looking at the canopy walkways, we are looking at waterfronts, we are looking at where the children can generally, there are other aspects that you have to pay something to access. But then we also want a place that any child can walk in and say, I don't have money, I want to feel free to relax. That purpose should also not be defeated. We are looking at leaving not less than 85% of the trees there. I mean, not to destroy them. We've put a lot of thoughts into it, and I can say that we are happy with it. And the people who are presenting, we are looking at some of these things within the welfare of the children.
According to the ministry, the redevelopment will be executed through a public-private partnership arrangement with both local and international organizations already showing interest.
For sustainability and the management of the place, it's going to be on the private person, so that maintenance will not be an issue for the state to bear. But the state has to also develop some kind of monitoring to see how safe the environment is, issues of safety and security, and then ensure that it is serving its purpose in the interest of the child.
Government also says it is working on a national policy to guide the management of public recreational spaces and integrate green parks into urban planning nationwide. Authorities believe the project could serve as a model for similar child-friendly spaces across the country.
For now, we are looking at the major cities. And so we want to focus on this first one, which is the Efua Sutherland Park, because we don't want it to deteriorate to a certain extent that it will be too expensive to develop or redevelop. And so we are looking at focusing that within this reset period. But the development of the other places will not be as expensive as the Efua Sutherland Park. And so that is what, once you get somebody to prove that it is possible to do it within the shortest possible time, and then the nation can benefit, especially the vulnerable and the children can equally benefit from it. Then we are looking at creating green spaces within urban planning. So every available space should have some space for recreation. But from all indication, the president is very, very willing to see the place developed.
Considering the state of this particular facility, many patrons who use the Efua Sutherland Children's Park are urging government to find available resources to renovate the facility for public use. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Christopher Kevin Asima.
Let's now take you to the Ashanti region, where the Fire Command says although fire outbreaks have reduced slightly this year, attacks on fire officers during emergencies remain a major challenge. Officials are now stepping up public education as part of efforts to improve fire prevention and response. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Tofik Mohammed reports.
The Ashanti Regional Command of the Ghana National Fire Service says it recorded 348 fire incidents in the first quarter of 2026. That figure is down from the 385 cases reported during the same period last year. Despite the decline, officials say hostility toward fire officers at emergency scenes continues to hamper rescue efforts. Speaking on the sidelines of the grand finale of an intermarket fire safety quiz in Kumasi, Ashanti Regional Fire Commander ACFO1 Peter Tete said the command will intensify public education.
Up to now, we have, that is the first quarter, we have 348
as against last year, which is 385, a difference of 37, that is 9.6%. Mobilizing people not less than 200 at a time, doing one-on-one education with the traders. So we believe that massive education is contributing to the reduction of the incidents so far.
He urged residents to desist from attacking firefighters and to support emergency personnel during operations. The command says it will also expand fire safety awareness in markets to reduce recurring market fires.
You don't allow us to come, the fires or the disaster will increase. So far as we have come, let us do our work and salvage whatever remains. You get me? They should support us. Individuals that are there, that have the capacity to support us logistically, we call upon them to come and support us. Government alone cannot do it.
Officials explained that the Intermarket Quiz initiative is designed to equip traders with basic skills to contain fires at the formative stage.
Market fires have been so rampant in this country. Therefore, the chief officer thought otherwise, that the market education that we are doing should go to another level. Therefore, they decided that, look, the traders must get involved in the prevention of fires, not only on that educational purpose, but must also get involved practically in the education. Therefore, we started with inter-quiz market so that the people themselves are taught. They are taken through the process. What is fire? What causes fire? All aspects.
Meanwhile, Managing Director of the KJTR Market, Ernest Afayam, says the market will strengthen internal fire safety measures and ensure easier access routes for emergency response teams.
So the recent one that happened, we all witnessed that within the space of 10 minutes, they were able to put the fire off. It tells that, yes, the market women are heeding to the advice in terms of things that you should do to prevent fire occurrences in the market. And also, we have also educated them that free flow of movement should be there, so that in case of such incidents, when the fire service personnel are coming, they will not be impeded. And that was exhibited during the fire incident. The fire hydrants that they used to quench off that fire that occurred, it's a testament that, yes, we are adhering to it. But then, it is a conscious effort for the market women, the men, management as well, to keep on educating them. Because, you know, as we say, there is a saying in account that so I think it's a good call, and it's something that is worth commending.
At the end of the contest, Tafo emerged winners, followed by Breman, Mamponten, and KJTR.
And that'll be all for this bulletin of the Channel One Newsroom. But before we go, let's remind you to visit our website, channel1newsonline.com, for more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel One TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel One TV. Download the Channel One News Online app from the Google Play Store. I am Nanatifu Boateng. Many thanks to you for watching.